colored warning flag to display to protesters to say you may be in violation of this new national security law, and this new warning flag has already been displayed, and it might well be that these may fall afoul of the new law. And these may be slogans about, for example, an end to communist rule, or even may now be criminalized under the new law.
OK, Holmes Chan there in Hong Kong for us. Thank you very much. Time for a look at the sport now, and there are 4 Premier League, Chelsea and West Ham, live on Sky Sports. 2 points behind fourth place Chelsea are Manchester United. They won 3-0 at Brighton last night. Bruno Fernandes scored twice after English teenager Mason Greenwood's opener. The win keeps United.
Bill, it was to be passed, and ideally it should have happened. But with the COVID wave starting, a lot of people...
Puneet Bhasin, on what basis can we ban TikTok? What will we do? We have to prove?
We can actually go about taking a ban on the grounds of national integrity, sovereignty, data protection. So where the nation feels there's a threat to anything which is integral to our nation, they can actually go about doing. So where they feel there's a threat to national sovereignty, integrity, or even under any other provisions, wherein, let's say, there's decency of women which is being violated or anything of this nature, they can actually take a ban on apps. They have done it even for porn websites before. So the same thing can be done, and definitely it's an interim order. So TikTok will have to present its case very well.
Right.
And upon presenting the case that, they have been compliant, what are the compliances? Like, we have a huge plethora of compliances under Indian law also. So if they're able to demonstrate that compliance, then definitely the ban may get lifted off. So it's all in the hands of TikTok now to demonstrate.
But at the end of the day, there's also the angle that it is Chinese owned. And there are Chinese billionaires who want to invest even more in India's lucrative markets. I want to understand from you, Arvind Gupta, there's an element of hypocrisy. During the 2019 elections, political parties used TikTok. We are told mygov.in, which is linked to Prime Minister Modi, has used TikTok at various times. Suddenly the same TikTok, which was used effectively during elections as a Chinese company, is being seen that we must ban it because it violates security and privacy. I think Mr. Gupta is struggling to listen to us, but you want to take that, Nikhil Pava? Is there an example of hypocrisy in the way we are looking at this entire issue? For months, everybody was watching TikTok. 610 million downloads. Now the company becomes a company which we believe is Chinese owned. We suddenly remember it.
Rajdeep, it's been going on for over a year. In fact, last year around July, almost a year ago, there was a debate in Parliament where MPs raised the issue of TikTok collecting a lot of data. Look, there are norms that need to be followed where there's adequacy of data collection, where there are certain privacy provisions in place where governments can't direct companies to act in their nation's interest against other countries. So look, Chinese companies are inherently, they can be called upon by the Chinese government to be essentially an extension of the state. And so that risk always remains in India. And as long as China's laws don't get fixed, as long as China, does not use its own companies against other countries, I don't think we can always trust Chinese companies, honestly.
No, I take your point. No, I take your point that we can't trust Chinese companies, but the fact is, whether it's a Paytm. No, 1 minute. Then where do you stop? Tomorrow, Paytm is a company which has a large Chinese investment. Will we say that we will not take Paytm? Every Indian is using it happily. Let's be very clear. There is a deep underlying hypocrisy here.
Rajdeep, can the Indian state control Paytm? Is there not a rule of? Is there a law that says that in India that Paytm will do against other countries as direct?
Seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall. This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
The NIAID-NIH strategic plan for COVID research involves 4 major components. The first is to improve the fundamental knowledge of understanding of the biology of the virus and the immune response to the virus in order to better inform us in the development of diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines. Some of the work that has come out of that program right now informs very greatly how we will address vaccine development, particularly understanding the conformation of the components of the virus that induce an appropriate immune response. In addition, we will develop and are developing animal models. Apropos of what you mentioned about children in school, we have a program called HEROES, which is Human Epidemiology and Response to SARS coronavirus, which is determining the incidence and transmissibility among children, a very important issue when you talk about opening schools and the impact that might have. In addition, the development of diagnostics, point-of-care, sensitive and specific diagnostics under the RADx program, including the RADx Up for underserved populations. Third, to characterize and test therapeutics. You mentioned the importance of this as we open up schools. There are a number of programs very active that have already shown efficacy or not in some drugs, as well as a number of clinical trials that are ongoing. One in particular